This is exactly how I stay focused while studying. There's 3 main sections to this, so if you actually want to help yourself and focus better, stick around for the 3rd one because that's the most important. If not, feel free to leave. So part 1 is the progress cycle. Now, a lot of us think to do an action, to start studying, we need motivation. But what we don't understand is it goes the other way around. If we do a particular action, we might see progress. Handwriting is very good, I know. We might see progress leading us to have more motivation, leading us to do more action. Let me tell you a story. A couple days ago, I sat down and I studied accounting for about 6 hours. For the people who don't know, accounting is one of the most rigorous subjects. It's pretty difficult, and it's also kind of boring if you take it into any certain perspective. And I did that for 6 hours, and I completely finished my O-level syllabus. I just did past papers for 6 hours. How was I able to do it? Abusing this cycle. I started without having motivation. I saw progress by finishing past papers and then ticking it off in a different sheet, leading me to see even more motivation and leading me to do even more. And that cycle legit repeated for 6 hours on one of the most difficult, no, it's not the most difficult, it's one of the most repetitive subjects ever. Especially for O-levels, by the way. Anybody who says O-level accounting is hard, you're lying to yourself. Okay, the next thing we have is this, which is basically how to get into flow, okay? Flow/the zone. Whenever we're, like, the flow/the zone is basically when we're working and everything just feels effortless. Everything seems to go into place. Like right now, I'm in the procedure of like recording like 5 videos. This is, I think, my 3rd one, and I'm quite in flow. The words that I'm saying out of my mouth is much more articulated than, let's say, the first video, because I'm much more in flow. Because I'm not bored because this isn't the easiest thing ever, and I'm also not frustrated or anxious because this isn't the hardest thing ever. The same way when you're studying, make sure you can align this. Make sure you don't study something that is too easy, and make sure you don't study something that is too hard. Both of these are extremely bad for your flow, because when it's too easy, you get bored. When it's too hard, you get anxious or frustrated. Which is why I always say, I've mentioned this in a bunch of other videos, focus on the basics. The basics are your golden star. If you can get really good at the basics, you can basically do everything else. Which is why I was able to do also extremely well in accounting, because I mastered the basics for about 6 months. Things that people spent only around 2 months doing. I don't know, people did it for 6 months, but they did it in like a very whatever way. I studied that extremely for 6 months, which is why whenever something in accounting shows up, I have the confidence in myself to just be like, yeah, I know what to do. And then every single time I don't understand something, I just derive back to the basics, figure out what I learned before and how it applies to what I'm studying right now. So yeah, study the basics, make sure you're into the flow zone. Progress cycle, important. The second part, this is also very important, which is environmental fixing. Don't study with your cat, obviously. Or maybe do. Maybe they'll just sit there and they won't just slap your hand because they can. There's 3 main sections to this as well: interruptions, visual, and auditory. Interruptions, basically everything in this video sort of goes back to interruptions. If you cannot fix your interruptions, no matter how many techniques I give you, no matter how much knowledge I give you, nothing will work. Interruptions are legit the devil knocking on your doorstep. It's like your brother, it's like your siblings or your parents knocking on your door while you're studying. Yes, they're the devil. Okay, no, I probably shouldn't say that. But yeah, if you can't fix interruptions, everything else in this video is useless. Make sure your family doesn't disturb you. Make sure your friends can't disturb you. Make sure you don't have notifications. And And especially if you do have notifications on your phone, get your phone, go throw it away somewhere else. Okay, no social media, obviously. The second one, we have visual. Don't have any posters up on the wall. I know people love the aesthetic study rooms with so many markers and then like 6 different posters and so much. Stop. They're distracting because they look so pretty to look at. What makes you think you're going to be focusing on your boring book instead of looking at your environment? Or also, don't study in front of a window with, like, let's say traffic going on. I know there's a lot of study with me videos with that exact scenario. I wouldn't be able to focus. You wouldn't be able to either, because every single time you get bored, you would look up and just go, damn, so many cars, a lot of air pollution. Yeah, so don't study with too much visual pollution. Don't have too much clutter. Don't have your books. Don't have 6 different books. Study with your Wi-Fi off. That's important. And only have what you need on your desk. Auditory focus, this is extremely simple. Put away anything that makes sounds. If you can't control these sounds, get noise-canceling headphones or just get regular headphones. Listen to white noise. Listen to 432 hertz beats. Don't listen to music. Don't listen to music with lyrics, preferably. But if you can't focus at all, I recommend, like, if you have a really bad attention span and the only way you can focus is through, like, I don't know, ASAP Rocky or something, sure, put it on blast and do it. I only listen to lyrics when I'm, let's say, doing something like math, because it's numbers. It doesn't really require that much thinking unless it's word problems. Sometimes with word problems, but yeah, preferably just listen to these 430, these 2 actually, 432 heartbeats. They're meant to help you focus. Part 3, the most important one, certainty windows. Certainty windows are periods of a weird work, if you know what I mean. You're consciously aware of what you're doing, okay? Because 95% of the actions you take on a daily basis, your subconscious mind takes care of it, which is why it's so hard for addicts to break out of the cycles of addiction. And which is why you can doom scroll for like 4 hours because you're subconsciously doing it. You're not even consciously doing it. And then the moment you become conscious is afterwards, the doom scroll session. You just go, why? Why did I do that to myself? I could have done so much more, but instead I just doom scrolled. That's your conscious mind talk. And certainty windows is basically you tell yourself, no, I am going to work and there's nothing that can stop me. That's your certainty windows. Basically, like, all the excuses that you give yourself, like, oh, it's too hard, or it's too easy, or damn, that arrow was bad, or I'll do this tomorrow. Like, all of these excuses that you give yourself, they're sort of your like subconscious mind, because they don't want to go through more pain. It sort of goes away once you are more aware. You just go, okay, this could be hard, but I'm going to do it anyways. And legit, all of these problems, it does not affect you. Reason, because you found the way out. And the way out is you becoming more aware. You understanding that, yes, only 5% of my actions on a daily basis are conscious. And the sooner you know it, once you're more conscious with how you, like, focus, trust me, after like around 2 weeks of just like maybe telling her, like, when you get distracted, just legit speaking out to yourself and going, no, I'm not gonna go on my phone, and just going back to work, after just 2 weeks of doing that, trust me, your subconscious will be reprogrammed to do the exact same thing again and again, and it'll become more of a habit. And your awareness levels goes up and your focus goes up. Okay, during the certainty windows, personally, use micro missions, 30 minutes of specific tasks, preferably ones which are urgent and important. You can do everything else, like less important, blah, blah, blah. But personally, for me, when I can't focus at all, I legit just sit down and I just do the ones which are urgent and important. That'll get me in the flow to then do things which are less urgent, but also important, or which are urgent, but not important. You know, all the other things. And that's basically how to study, or how to stay focused while studying. If you want a full cheat sheet on how to focus, coaching calls, study systems, personalized Loom videos, like this is one, like all of this, completely for free. Free Discord down in the description. Bye-bye.